Hey friends, welcome back to the channel and Happy New Year. I hope you found lots of time during the season to rest and maybe create. So today I have some inspiration for you, and I have a blog post up on Paige Taylor Evans' blog post on her website. So you can get all the details there as well. And then this video, I walk you through my creation process for this layout. So my assignment here was to use one of her New Year cut files. She does have a bundle available on the website, and I will link that for you. And I worked with the Adventurous collection that Paige offers for all the papers and embellishments. So I started with a piece of white textured cardstock that I trimmed to 11 by 11. And the cut file is also cut on the same textured cardstock. And then I used a piece of the pink stripe paper number 2 from the collection, which has the blue and the airplanes on the back. I use that as my border, and then I'm gonna go and add a little bit of machine stitching in gold. I did a zigzag just for some extra texture and detail. I like doing that with layouts. I don't know, the framed look just looks very polished to me. And then my idea for the page here was to add a variety of different photos. I printed them in 2x3 photo size, and I printed 4 photos in black and white on a 4x6 piece of photo paper. And there's apps that you can download and use for free to create those collages, quote unquote. Now, I did black and white. However, the Adventurous collection works with a lot of different colors. There's lots of color choices in here. But some of our photos, people were wearing very different colors in them. And I just wanted to kind of tone it down. And that's why I went with the black and white. Plus, there's a little bit of a nod to New Year celebration, since you typically see a lot of black and gold, which is another reason why I used gold accents in my layout. For the title, I backed the happy word in this teal paper, and you just use a pencil to trace on the back of your paper. And then you can go ahead and cut it out with leaving a little bit of a border so that there's room for your paper to attach to the back of your cut file. And you use liquid adhesive for that. And then I also did the word new in that pinkish gold flower pattern paper, and then a light blue for the word year. So I wanted to kind of have them pop against each other. And that really is my color scheme for this layout, is the blues, the golds, and a little bit of pink. So you'll see that as I pull in the different elements, those colors come through. So here I'm just fussy cutting the word. Again, make sure you leave some border around it, so that there's space for it to adhere to the back of that cut file. If you are looking to purchase the collection, I'll also link my share sale link for scrapbook.com. Obviously, no obligation, but if you're interested in buying it, I do appreciate you using the link. There's no cost to you, and I get a very tiny, small percentage from the sale, which is always helpful to help keep this hobby going. So with the collection, the project pad is available there, and I think there's other pieces as well. So in case you're really wanting it, I wanted to tell you that the teal and the light blue paper is in the project pad, as well as that pink flower with the gold. So that's why I'm telling you that. All right, and once you have all of the pieces cut out and back to the cut file, then we're gonna go ahead and kind of start working with the rest of the background paper before adhering any other elements. So with the fussy cutting, hopefully you get the hang of it here, and then I'm gonna speed it up so that we get to the next step. I'm using very thin foam strips. You can get these pretty much anywhere, Amazon, scrapbook.com, and that will give the file some dimension. I pretty much do this with all of my cut files when I'm adhering them to a layout. I'm 90% of the time adhering it with foam adhesive because I just like the dimension that it gives. And then before you adhere it down, we're going to do a couple things here. One, you want to make sure you like the placement of the file and the photos, and then just slightly do a quick outline of it. So before we adhere it, we're going to use a gold shimmer spray. I'm using a Genie K1, and I'm just going to spray the outline of that star and inside the star. And I'm doing this because I don't really want to back the rest of the cut file. I kind of want that gold to come through and just very loosely just spraying it into the shape of the star, just following my traced lines. You can see it's not perfect, which is okay because we're going to layer this and add other elements. So it really does not have to be perfect. And then you can also go ahead and add some splatters with the same gold spray. I would probably wait in between for the layers to dry, but if you're in a hurry, you can totally go ahead and do that right after you spray it. So give that about half an hour to dry, or if you have a heat tool, then you can also use that to kind of dry it up for you and get ready to work on the rest of the layout. I have it dry now, kind of try to flatten it out a bit, but you can see that the paper buckled. I'm fine with that. It just adds to the texture element of it, plus you're covering it up a good portion of it with the cut file, so it just gives it that character. Go ahead and remove the backing pieces of the cut or of the foam tape, and then apply it the same way as you have painted that star in the back. So now with that kind of down and in place, I'm adding my photos, just placing them around, kind of tilted. The photos are different directions, so I have 2 horizontal, 2 vertical. I kind of kept them in those groups, and then using my adhesive to adhere them down. I'm tilting them. If you want, you could add photo mats. I chose not to and kind of leave them quote unquote naked, I guess you would call it. I'm not sure if there's a better word for that, but without a mat. While I do like to use photo mats quite often, sometimes I just like the look of not having one. And then once you have those photos down, then you can move on to adding the other elements, all the little pieces of embellishments to really fill out the layout and bring in that kind of that interest and personality. To complete the title, these pictures were of last New Year's, so coming into 2024, and I'm adding the little foam stickers that are part of the collection, but I do end up moving them around slightly, so this won't be the final placement. I was really trying to work through and figure out where I wanted to put things. I was trying to figure out where to place my journaling, so I thought I would do the little labels, but as I kind of put them and moved them around, and didn't look great, so I just left the little teal blue label, And then I'm adding little arrows and some of the puffy arrows from the phrases thickers set here. Added that cute little tab at the top. And then as you kind of play around, I wanted to create some circular movement around the page. So that's where I'm kind of playing with the placement of the arrows to see where I want them to go. That'll help the eye kind of move all around. So it wasn't sitting well with me, so I just kept moving things around, trying to figure out the placement. And that's where you can see I'm going to add or kind of move down the teal label, which then means I need to move down 2024 just to get a good placement with the arrow. So sometimes for me, layouts come together really quickly, and sometimes I kind of just gotta test and trial it to see if I like how it looks or if I need to change something. So in this case, I had a lot of trial and error in figuring out a look that looked pleasing to me and where I was happy with the placement. Thankfully, a lot of these elements are not super permanent right away, so you can still move things around. And then if you feel like your adhesive is not strong enough, go ahead and add a little dab of your liquid glue, and that'll help it stay securely in place. And then that picker tool that I'm using is like gold. I love using it. Sometimes, very rarely, I'll use my tweezers, but most of the time I'm using that picker tool because it just, I don't know, just makes it so much easier. I added a tab at the top there in the photo, and then I'm going to add the word joy right at the bottom of the photo there with the arrow. And then what I like is the collection has these cute epoxy dots, so those will get added near and around the arrows just to, give it a little bit of pop of interest. And then I found some words and phrases in the sticker sheets, so adding those to the label and the tabs. And even though it's a kind of travel collection, it does work here because I'm talking about like happy heart, the magic of New Year. Travel is indicative of family that traveled here. Also, we love to travel, so those are things that we want to do in a new year. So it just works for me here. And then was trying to see what other elements to add. And then last but not least, I decided to add the little tiny puffy stickers and decided to add some flowers. I know New Year's, the photos don't really scream flowers, but I just thought they were so cute. So I decided to add a little bit of those elements, added some hearts into the letters that are part of the Cutfile, and just a couple other bits and pieces here. So I hope you like how it turned out, or you got some ideas coming out of it. Let me know in the comments what you think, if there's an idea you're going to take away from here. And subscribe to my channel if you are not already a subscriber. And I'll see you in the next video. Have a fabulous day.